So let's talk chain plates a minute. So I pulled the old ones out and 3 of the 6 broke. So I ordered these nice new puppies from Catalina Direct. They're 1/2 inch. They got a bigger base and everything, so they're gonna go in here. But what I have to do is drill the hole out a little bigger to 1/2 inch, because that's 3/8. So we're gonna drill these holes out, and then I'm gonna see about wallering the wood out on the inside with an Allen wrench, and I'll show you that. And then I'll backfill it with epoxy and then drill. That way there'll be no wood exposed. But I was checking this core, and this core is really nice and dry inside. It's not mushy or anything. But just to protect it, we're gonna pre-fill it with epoxy first. That'll give us a nice sleeve. So I was in the process of taking these chain plates off, so I could tape this off and put paper around everything, so I could spray this, because this is all primed and ready to go. But let me show you something inside, and it'll teach you why you got to check your chain plates no matter what you think. Maybe remember I was talking about these pipe straps somebody put here in the chain plates. Well, this is what the bolt's supposed to look like when you take it off. A bolt and a lock washer. This chain plate, this is what happens when they're bad. It broke off. The stud from the chain plate was so rusted to the nut that it just broke. Or over the years it's corroded and it wasn't going to hold. So 4 of them out of the 6 were like that. Only 2 of the studs were any good. So that means I'll have to get 6 new chain plate studs, which is okay because they make some new ones with a bigger base, and I was going to get those anyways. But it just goes to show you, double check your chain plates, because that bolt has broke off right there. And of course it probably would have held for a while, but you would have never known until it mass come crashing down. So check your chain plates. So there you are. There's a shot of them. There's one that's good, not good, too rusted out. But as you can see, these just broke off. So imagine what would have happened if we had not checked. Might have held for a while, but that was a mass crash coming down any minute. So here's the old chain plate. That's how that was designed. That's the original. So at the bottom there's a washer and a nut, and that's it. Here's the new one, 1/2 inch. That's the fitting that goes on the top, and that's the new backer plate. So I would call that a substantial upgrade. As you remember, 3 of these had broke anyways, and so I would say probably none of these were any good. And so this will be the new one. I don't think these will go anywhere anytime soon. Alright, so I checked the holes. I poke in here with a screwdriver and hit it with an Allen wrench, and that wood is solid. So this boat is what, 34 years old, and that wood is good, amazing. And I figured it might be because there's absolutely no cracking around any of these, and so they've never wobbled or wiggled loose. So I'm assuming those were probably factory. I'm just guessing. So we're just gonna put these in, but I think what I might do is mark around this and grind the texture out so that my plate is on smooth, especially here where it goes into the smooth. It'd be nice if this kind of came out and ran around smooth. Take a little sanding, but it might look nice. So what I got, when you put this one in, you got texture all the way around, so that one's going to sit good. But I notice on these ones, they line up into the smooth spot. So I'm going to mark it like I did here, and then I'm going to come out maybe 3/8 of an inch and then grind all that smooth so it's at this same level. That way when these are on, you'll have a nice white border that comes around these two, and that'll make them look sense and kind of give it a little gracefulness as well. So let's do some grinding. So your 2 lower brackets go there, and they use the big backer plates. Of course the middle one now has the backer plate or angle bracket that's hooked to the bulkhead, so you can see the metal shavings. So I just shaved all the way, drilled all the way through everything. That way when this one goes on, the hole's already lined up. So now if I take that bracket off underneath, it's okay, because I've got the hole already drilled and it lines up with everything. So that's pretty massive. when that thing gets bolted down, plus gets 2 screws in there. I don't know why they put the 2 screws in there. I know they say they can turn, but dude, by the time you tighten these down, I don't know how they're really gonna turn. But I guess that's just extra protection so they don't turn, as they can give you the screws to go in here. So once that thing's down, you're done. Of course, you need to make sure you line these up. And I didn't take a picture because one of these is like turned sideways. So I'm gonna have to look it up and see if I can see a good picture of it. Or before I drill these holes and tighten it down, I may have to put everything up and look. And it may not make a difference, but I think it does make a difference because of the way the cable pulls. You want this to line up, I would think, in line with the mast. And so this one will be at a little bit of an angle, and then this one should be at a little bit of an angle. So you're not pulling sideways, but you're pulling this way. That's my assumption. And I'll see if I can see any pictures on my old videos that shows me the alignment. But I know you probably don't want it this way, because then the buckle is bending sideways and it could break. So I'm gonna line it up so these line up with the mast. That way the buckle has pivoting room. And that should be good. So that's a start. I'm gonna check it for the wood. The wood inside seemed to be good, but I'll get a little feeler and feel if the wood is soft, then I'm gonna burl that out with an Allen wrench, and then we'll backfill it with epoxy. And I'll show you in a few minutes if I need to do that or not. So just so you see it from inside. So there's our new chain plate things. Pretty heavy duty. And then there's the drill bit that comes with it, 1/2-inch drill bit. So we're gonna go outside and drill these out. And then we're going to backfill them with epoxy and then drill them the correct size for the chain plate bracket. So as mentioned, here's the new chain plate. And of course, if you remember the original ones, or even on your boat, the original ones are smaller and they just have a washer and a nut on the other side. But this upgraded one comes with this massive plate, backer plate for your 2 lower stays, or shrouds, excuse me, your 2 lower shrouds. So the middle shroud, of course, we know is hooked to the bulkhead with a metal bracket underneath there. So what I did is when I drilled that middle one, I left the metal bracket on the bulkhead and drilled through the metal that's there. That way I've got my 1/2-inch hole in the middle bracket. I'll show you. So here, getting ready to bed down the chain plate. So I've taped it off around it, about 1/8 inch out. Got it all dry fitted. And we'll take this feller off. Stays in there pretty good, that's for sure. But there's my gray. I'll set that down just for a second. So I get my marine adhesive, and we're gonna go all the way around, nice big helping of it, just like that. And then we're gonna line it up. Probably wasn't holding my camera too good for you, was I? Get that about right. Push that all the way down. I'll give it a tap. I'm gonna lick my finger. And that's that part. So I'll get some cleaner and we'll clean that off now. All right, so we got that done. We got the rag with some mineral spirits on it. We want to clean all the excess off. And do it one more time. There we go. That's clean, and then let's peel the tape off. And voila, there we go. So we'll let that set up. Let me fix that a little bit right there. So we'll let that set up, and then tomorrow we'll tighten it down and make sure I like it where it's at. I'll give it one more good press. Pushed everything out just a little bit more, and we'll leave that like that. And tomorrow we'll set it in place with the 2 screws and then bolt it down. But there she is. All right, so there's the new chain plates in, the 2 where the white is. So you'll see how the white will go around. So I'm not going to fasten. I'll let that set up, and then tomorrow I will squeeze them down tight once that's set up, and that will make a much nicer seal. But those 2 are in. I need to paint the gray, and then I'll get the 3rd one in. So let's do the 2 on the other side.